What's up, locker room? This is the day again. We get to talk with one another, share with one another. And let me get this on the white way so I can see you guys and see what you're saying to me as I get ready to say and talk with you. Because you know we got to discuss so many things. Last night, that Michigan win over UConn. We have right now Fernando Mendoza already saying, don't worry about it, sweetheart. I'm not coming to the draft. I'm going to spend my time in Miami with my family. Dexter Lawrence requests a trade out of New York. I heard Coach Harbaugh talking about, we understand all of that. Talking about trades, the one trade I want to talk about today is the Angel Reese trade to Atlanta in the WNBA. Dude, I'm going to tell y'all this. I thought this was perfect. I thought this was so perfect beyond Angel Reese playing ability and all of that for her own brand to leave Chicago and go to Atlanta. Y'all know Atlanta, that's Chocolate City, y'all. That's Chocolate City. That's where and Angel Reese, tall, I ain't gonna say chocolate, mocha, mocha, and her style, it fits better in Atlanta than it does in Chicago. So I'm happy for her. But we got to start with the NCAA championship. And I'm going to tell you why I wanted to start with this, because I'm telling you guys, I thought this through watching the championship game last night. That was a good game. Man, you say what you want to say. I tweeted out something when I was sitting there watching, because I'm here in LA at meetings all night, right? Meetings all day. And I'm watching the game last night, and I'm like, these jokers were running. They were running up and down that floor. You could see them hyperventilating, breathing hard. They were playing so hard. UConn played hard. UConn played tough. Michigan just was not going to be denied. And Big Ten Player of the Year for Michigan, man. This is what I thought about, because they had him, they had Elliott, the MVP, and all five of these guys for Michigan, all five players for Michigan were people that they brought in that year. All five starters were transfers. That's the first time all five starters were transferred, won a championship, something like that. They were talking about that. And I thought that was pretty incredible. And it took me here. Okay, like, are we going to have any more Michael Irvins, Ray Lewis, where you see a guy that came up and played all 3-4 years at one school, and he's attached to it. You know what I mean? Born, bred with it. So I was like, wow. I understand that's the new game, and I ain't got no problem with it. But we hate. Thank you, Carson Beck. Thank you, Cam Ward. All of that for us. I'm saying we ate off that same tree. But it's just interesting to have five transfers come over and win a championship like that. And I don't, even basketball's five guys. But you know what I thought was interesting too? You saw how close that team was to be just getting here. All five guys getting guys. I thought they were extremely close. They fought hard together, and that's what got them over the top. And why? Why UConn just couldn't close that gap? Because UConn kept coming close, but Michigan will pull it away again. Vito, what's up, man? What's good, playmaker? God bless you. And man, he continues to work in your favor. He has been working in my favor. I appreciate you saying that, man. And I appreciate you appreciate you bringing God in this situation. You know what I mean? And throwing blessings that were this way. So yeah, yeah, I'm cool with that. Look at you, LOL. All right, Mo Fortis. Mo Fortis? 317, is that who that is right there? Okay. What's up, Playmaker? What's up, Playmaker? My favorite cowboy of all time. Am I? All right, I appreciate that, man. Thank you for that. I get to chat with you. You know, we get to chat with the peeps right here, man. There's so many good things here. You know, let's go play Mega. Yeah, keep going up. Let me see somebody. Keep going up. Hope all is well with you and your family. Hope all is well with your wife. Pray for her all day, every day. And thanks for that, buddy. You know what? And it's so because I'm getting a lot of people right now, and of course, a lot of opportunities because people have heard about my wife and they try to do some things in, you know, with Alzheimer's and with the elderly. Oh, speaking of that, you guys, let me ask you this. Oh my God. Did you guys see that clip? Did you guys see that clip of the elderly man that was walking in his diapers? And I guess the neighbor tried to walk him back to his house, and whoever that was, I don't know, came out and made the guy walk all the way back down the street. It was so heartbreaking. And I know you had these clips going around, and they were talking about, the elderly abuse in this country. Dude, I felt so sad for that man. Like, I don't know. I try when I see people, and I'm an old man myself, but whenever I see anyone, like I always think like I want to like, what if somebody was coming up on your grandmother, or you know what I mean? And I want to make sure I look out for that person best I can. Even on airplanes, I'm taking out bags for people. Like I work for the airlines, I'm putting them up, you know, for people that are older than me, of course, and then all ladies. But yeah, I was like, man, that clip hurt. I don't know either one of those people. I don't know either one of those people. But that clip hurts to see. That hurts. Like, how could you treat somebody like that? And you could tell that lady was frustrated. I'm only emotional about it. It hurts so much to watch that. You can tell that lady. I understand, you know, that this is a tough job. And you're talking about caretaking, and you can tell she's been. You don't know. You don't know half of it. She's spewing out her pain, and you know, not really thinking about him. She's spewing out her pain, and I'm like, you're talking about how aggravated you are. It's not a choice. This person isn't choosing to aggravate you. I don't know, man. Sometimes, and when you get situations like this, because I know when my mom first got sick, it was strange. My family. Let me tell you what I moved my mom. Right, I moved her into a home. Well, I bought her a home. I mean, she was fine when I first got in the league, and yeah, she loves his home. She picked it out, and put it together, bought a new home. When my mom got very sick, and she had Alzheimer's, she would wake up all times of the night and say, "I got to get out of there. I got to go. I got to go." She thought the home that I had bought her mm, was the houses she used to clean for people. And she would say, "I have to go home. I got to get home. I got to get home." And she wanted to go back to the house that we had grew up in, because her mind went back to those days. And the house she was living in reminded her of the house she had been cleaning. Miss Northcutt home, but I had bought her that home. But but you know, she just kept she couldn't see that. And my family would call me and say, Michael, what should we do? What should we do? She won't go to sleep and she keeps saying this is not her house. He keeps telling her this is your house. Your son bought this house. It's your house now. I said, what do you mean? Take her back to the other house. I still own that house. I said, take her back to the other house. Because they're trying to, they spend the whole time trying to convince her, no, this is your house. Oh, no. And I'm like, this is the disease. You're not going to convince her. This is the disease. That's what it's called, the disease. Take her back to the other house. And lose. That's what I said. You have to lose because think about it. They didn't want to get up, drive all the way back to the other house, put her in the car, drive away. So they're thinking about them, just like that lady who was aggravated, and the guy done walked down the street again, and she's like, "Come on, I'm gonna make you walk all the way back. Didn't I tell you stop doing all of this?" It's just, yeah, it's hard. It's hard. And I saw it then. And I'm not talking about anybody because I'm telling you, I can't do it. I have people that I've hired to help me do it. So I'm praying and I honor anybody that can do it. I'm not talking about this lady because what I'm saying, but that lady should be doing it. She should not be doing it because if it's aggravating her that much to the place where she takes it out on them people like that, that's just wrong. That hurts me. I'll get off of that, but that did hurt me. That really hurt me. Watching that. So that was hard to watch. That was hard to watch. And I know I appreciate so many people that told me you guys did see need more humanity in this world, dude. Mike, can you shout out to Jay from Pennsylvania? I got you, Jay. What's up, Jason? I got you, buddy. You're the best. I gave you that love, man. But we do, though, peeps. Listen, I'm telling you, it's nothing but love for you. Checking in from Miami. Vito, I appreciate that. But you guys, honestly, man, that stuff is hard to watch. And like, how can any human being do that? And this dude filming it. You were about to get bashed here. And you just carried it on and kept going. Like, yeah, that was tough. That was tough, man. That was hard to watch. So, yeah, I'm looking at it. Dude, you guys, also, and this is not going along with what I'm talking about, right? We're talking about the Michigan team and beating UConn and how all five of these guys are transfer guys. And is it any more Ray Lewis or Michael Irvins and guys that come up and go to one school? And that ties back in too. Like, think about it. Like, all right, Fernando Mendoza not attending the draft. You see, now he's going to watch with his family, which, you know, I can understand that. And especially if you go on the route that he's gone, he wanted to play in Miami, didn't get an opportunity to play in Miami, to go to Indiana, even though he was fortunate enough to get to win his championship in Miami in front of his family, to now want to be at home with his family during the draft. Yeah, I can understand that. I can certainly understand that. A lot of people will say a lot of things, but those who decide to stay home, yeah, yeah, I can dig that. Smart move. He can hang out right there. He already knows he's going to the Raiders. He already jumped on the system. He said he's already learning the West Coast concepts and offenses. So I'm going to go all the way over there to walk up on stage and hold that jersey for a second and take that picture. No, I'll have that moment right here with my family. So, people get on about that stuff, but I'm okay with that stuff. I'm okay with that. I got no problem with that whatsoever. First time live. Love you and your passion for DC. Mm. I love my boys, man, my Cowboys. You guys have been seeing it too now. You see the little leaks and the little leaks here, and they're going to keep trying to stir it up, that old George Pickens and Jerry Jones thing. I guarantee you, when we come here to give it another week going into the draft, right? With what we are, it's 14 days away from the draft. Right. Yeah. 14, 15 days away from the draft. In about 7 days, all of the George Pickens being traded during the draft stuff will start coming up. I guarantee you. All of it. So it's going to start coming up. We'll start talking about it. They'll run some things on the TVs and everything. Everybody have clips about it. We'll get through all of that all over again. I guarantee you. And it'll be pulling. I must admit this. I do like that Jerry has seemed to pull back and not be all into trying to stir the pot, even though I saw him stir the pot the other day. What are you saying about Messidor? Dallas needs to draft Messidor from the youth. I'm with you on that, Sports 78. I've been singing that song. Somebody tweeted at me the other day, and I think I almost tweeted back, but I didn't want to sideways any one of my boys. I almost tweeted back, because they said, who should Dallas draft? I said, I wanted to tweet back the defensive ends from the University of Miami. Get both of them. Get both of them. But then I thought about my boy Keontae, who I had on the show, and Jacoby, and those bad boys too. So I really want Dallas to get all of the Miami players. But I would love any one of those defensive ends. And some mock drafts have Ruben Bain F12. And I mean, I would love if Ruben Bain landed. Watch my words here. Landed at 12. I didn't use the word drop to 12. Because I know when you get a blessing and an opportunity to play for the Cowboys, and you say he could have gone fifth. Oh, but he dropped to 12. That ain't no drop. That's a great land. I could have gone seventh. I said no. I landed at 11 in Dallas. When you land in Dallas, you don't ever drop to Dallas. You drop to other teams because if I could have gone 5 and now I go at 12, I dropped to 12. But you don't never drop to Dallas. If you could have gone 5 and you go 11 to Dallas, that ain't a drop because it's Dallas, you know. And that little bit you lose on the front end, go win in Dallas, you'll make it up forever on the back end. That ain't a drop. I call that a placement. I was placed in Dallas. If you want to place Ruben Bain here in Dallas, I'll take that any time of the day. And I hope that's how it plays out. I want, we need it. We need it. I'll take Ruben Bain at 12 and Messidor at 20. And then we done. No, we gotta get some DBs. We gotta get some safeties. Even though we got good guys, pick them up, but honestly, I will say I will build like Jimmy Johnson built. That means I want to have many levels of great defensive linemen, and I'll change them out and wear out offensive linemen. That's every time they did it every time, and I love when they do that. When Jimmy used to do that, Jimmy would have those defensive linemen in the Jimmy Jones. We rotate them in. All of them are very good players, and all of them played hard. So when one guy gets tired, you rotate. You got a fresh D lineman going against a more tired offensive line. You win a lot of those battles. And that was the Jimmy Johnson theory. I wouldn't mind a hearing to all of that theory again. All I want to hear is the Cowboys draft Ruben Bain Jr. That's what I'm saying. Me too. How do you say that name? Is that Nigel? Nigel Wanzer? Is that one word? Okay, and Nigel, that must. So I'll take that 3307. Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you that would be great. I'm gonna tell you something too. I'll take. I wouldn't mind, and Dallas did look at both of these boys. The boys I had on, Kevontae and Jacoby. Those boys in their secondary are beasts too now. Jacoby, a mean, big hit safety. Keontae, both of them have the mind that plays shoulders up. Because I asked about it on the show when I asked them about reading quarterbacks. That's how you know when a corner or safety's going to the next level. A safety's always reading the quarterback. Even a corner reads the quarterback. That's called cluing. And the smart ones know how to clue. So they're never even looking at the receiver. They're studying they're never looking at the quarterback. They're studying the receiver. They're never looking at the receiver. They're studying the quarterback. They'll peek at the receiver, but I'm watching his drop. 3 steps, I know that's a quick throw. You see what I mean? So I know the receiver has to break at 5 yards. So I'm jumping it. If he drops 5 steps, that's an over the top throw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hitch, ball up in the air. So I'm running out of it. If I see him drop 7, I'm settling around 17 yards because that's a route. And the cornerback is not watching the receiver. He's watching the quarterback and he's sitting in certain areas. Now, me, myself, in teaching this game, I tell receivers whenever you get a clue at the cornerback, you have to make contact. Because if I see him cluing and studying a quarterback to beat me to the 6 yard mark, now when I come off the ball, dude, let me tell you something. I'm not running to a spot. I'm running through him because he's not looking. I'm knock him back, roll up, and catch the ball. Smart players. That's how Devontae, that Ohio State ball, he hit the house. That's what you're doing. He's cluing. He sees the one quick step. He knows that's a smoke route. The ball coming out right now. As soon as the quarterback scrap, he starts running. That's called cluing. That's what Dallas did. And it only works now, and we saw this year. This only works when you have what you have on that front. So when Dallas solidifies the front, now the cornerbacks can start taking those chances and they get clue and jump routes. Trayvon Diggs did it and did it great as long as we had Michael Parsons. Because Trayvon Diggs can jump the route and Michael Parsons had to get rid of the ball right now. I mean, the quarterback had to get rid of the ball right now because Michael Parsons was coming. Yes, I would like that too, Sports 78. What do you think about more offense going into more 12 and 13 personnel? I do like that. I like it if you have the talent to do it. Now, if you're telling me you're going to bring in, you know, you're telling me you're going to bring in another top receiver, then I don't want to see you going 2 or 3 tight ends. You know what I mean? I want to see you be able to throw the ball in there. But yeah, if you're going to continue to run the ball and you want people to continue to know you're going to run the ball, then you should talk about that. Daryl, listen, Daryl 0508, I would love that. I would love that, man. He's asking me about having an opportunity to get Carson Beck on day 2 or 3. I would love to get Carson Beck to the Dallas Cowboys on day 2 or 3. Hey, now that would be, I believe, a good fit and a good person to be backing Dak Prescott up, learning from Dak Prescott. He got some similar traits and skill sets and talents as Dak Prescott. So, yeah, I would love that. Jimmy threw a can soda at me in the 80s. Jimmy who? Gary, come on, man. Jimmy who? Jimmy Johnson? Jimmy Jones? Jimmy Johnson, Jimmy Jones. Every time, let me tell you, every time I say hear Jimmy Jones, Jimmy Jones played with me at the University of Miami and with the Dallas Cowboys. But and he's a good dude, right? He's from Florida, right? But but every time I hear Jimmy Jones, I don't think about that Jimmy Jones. I think about me because remember, those were my alias. Jerry Johnson and Jimmy Jones. That's what I used to sign in at the hotel. Jerry Johnson, Jimmy Jones. When they caught me in the hotel, they found all those aliases. That's what I okay. That's just me telling you all that. I don't know why, but yeah, we just shared that with you. Yeah. I don't know why I was crossing up my coach and my owner's name like that when I was out there. You know what I mean? I don't know why, but that's funny to me. But Jimmy Jones was a great player himself. You know what I mean? He was a great player himself. Okay, that's the people ask me about coming aboard on my plane. Well, I'm serious, dude. That was a funny jump, dude. Do you imagine? I'm gonna tell you when the GA called me, they called me up to talk. They said we're gonna talk about we have your hotel records. I'm like, what records? Y'all ain't got no records. I ain't never check in under Mike Irvin. You ain't got no records on me. I got it there. The Joker had all the hotel rooms and Jimmy Jones and Jerry Johnson. I was like, how did y'all find this stuff? My dumb butt, my dumb butt, a dumb criminal. I'm going in. I'm thinking. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't even know what I was thinking. Like, why did I think that was gonna work? What I mean? Sooner or later, that was gonna catch up with me, man. That was funny. I mean, they had them all. I was like, oh my god, man, that was, yeah, that was crazy. Let's get out. Let's get out of that. Let's get out of there. Okay. I was here, right? Let me tell you. And I was with Matt Barnes and some guys today. And we were talking about some of that, and some of that crazy stuff and remembering some of the crazy stuff. Like, dude, man, oh my God. I was telling them, I'm gonna tell you this, but then I gotta know. I'm gonna tell you what. I was telling them about one time I was sitting home, and this was after it shut down the White House and everything. And we were watching some sports and everything. It was calmed down. I thought it had no calmed down anyway. And out the blue, some noise went, da 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 da. They said, breaking story. And I'm literally sitting here with my wife, like, what the hell they breaking now? And the dude said, breaking. We have the recording box from the White House. We're going to play that for you next on channel whatever news. And I'm like, I'm sitting with my lady. I'm like, oh, snap. And I was like, oh my God, why can't the lights go out right now? I wanted something to happen, fuse the bus, something. But I couldn't go do it myself. I couldn't even move. I was like, God, I can't have. I hope they did. Oh my. So anytime after that, I promise you I had PTSD. Anytime they had some breaking story, I started sweat. So, I just started sweating, man. Anytime from that moment on, and that wasn't a good moment for me. I know I didn't finish that story. That wasn't a good moment because they started playing that recorder, and I'm sitting there and I couldn't move. I'm like, mm. And they had everybody. Hey Michael, can we come over? Hey Michael, are you at the what? I was like, oh my God. And I couldn't even say that was AI because they didn't have AI back then. I would have loved to say, baby, that's just AI. Damn, we ain't have AI. Damn, that's what I needed back then. I needed AI back then. I just thought about that. That would have, let me shut up. Let me get out of here. Let me do this. I- I- that's just between us. That's between us. But to this day, if ever I hear, I don't care, and that even on ESPN, they do they do a flash breaking. But I hear any breaking, dun, 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 I just start itching and sweating because I have PTSD, if you know what I mean, from that situation. All right, man. I gotta get on this plane. I just yeah, just wanted to drop that with you. Because you're family. You're Malacca. And I will always give you a little something that maybe I don't give anybody else. Yeah. Honestly, before I go though, let's pray for that. Let us all in our own spare time sometimes. Let's pray for that elderly gentleman. And let's pray for all elderly people. And then let's also pray for the patience of the people that are looking after the elderly people. You know, don't just condemn them. We got to pray. Mm. All right, guys.